If you're concerned about some of the shocking mistakes that parents whose babies have clubfoot make, and you want to avoid those mistakes, then you're watching the right video. Please keep on watching. Now, if your baby doesn't have clubfoot, there's really no need for you to watch this video. If your baby does have clubfoot or club feet and you're interested in learning some of the mistakes, some of the stretches that you need to do, and the entire process that you need to go through with your baby, then keep on watching. So the technical name for clubfoot is Talipes equinovarus. That's quite the mouthful. I'm not saying that again. And what this means is that in utero, your baby's ankle bones were curved inwards and downward. So it looks kind of like this. And so your baby's feet have the shape of a club. A lot of times it affects only one foot and not the other. Sometimes it affects both feet. It seems to affect boys more than girls, and it impacts about 1 out of every 1,000 live births. If your baby was born with a club foot or club feet, it's important that you realize that, first of all, you didn't do anything wrong. It's not your fault that you didn't eat right, you were smoking, you were drinking during your pregnancy, or anything like that. This just happens, it happens, and sometimes they're able to figure it out by doing an ultrasound while you're pregnant. Also, a lot of times they figure it out once your baby's born. There's not much you can do about it at that point, except to go ahead and correct it. So the way a clubfoot is corrected is through a series of procedures. The most popular procedure is called the Ponseti method. This method involves a set of steps where baby is, first of all, casted, and you go through a series of casts where baby will be casted 1 week in a particular position, go back the next week, have the cast removed, the foot is moved a little bit further towards what will be considered a straight foot and not so much of a club, and then you go back home with your baby, you would come back the next week, have the cast removed again, and you will go through that process, repeat that process for about 4 to 6 weeks until your baby's foot or feet is straight. Once your baby is finished with the casting, there is a procedure called a tendon release where the doctor will make a small incision in your baby's Achilles heel, release it, position baby's foot in the correct way that the foot should be, and then put it back in the cast and you would go home. Once the tendon release is complete, your baby will be sent home with you, but at night you'll have to put on these braces on baby's feet. Whenever baby is sleeping and whenever baby is napping, you're gonna have to put on the braces on your baby's feet. Now, this is the point where a lot of parents begin to kind of fall off the wagon. And so I want to urge you that if you're going through all of this, you're putting your baby through all of this, to be resilient and stay the course, because you're correcting your baby's feet early, and that's going to last throughout the rest of baby's life. So some of the common mistakes that I've seen parents make in my experience as a physical therapist is, one, removing the cast too early or demanding that the doctor remove the cast too early. The process is the process. It has to go for a certain amount of time because you're gradually repositioning and reforming the way your baby's foot is positioned and is going to continue to be positioned with this series of casting. If the cast is too short and the cast is supposed to come up well up above baby's knees to almost to your baby's groin, and if the cast is too short, or you elected or you tell the doctor to do a below the knee cast, a lot of times the foot just pushes out of the cast. If the cast is too loose, your baby's foot will start to go back to its natural clubfoot position, and you will find that the whole process, the whole ordeal is not working for you or working for your baby. Another common mistake that I see is the braces that you have to put on your baby's feet at night, and when baby's napping, forgetting to put those braces on. A lot of times, and I've seen this way too often, it becomes kind of a habit where you're like, oh, we did it last night, we don't have to do it tonight. You start skipping. Eventually, the braces are in a corner covered up with a towel, and nobody sees it, and you forget to put it on. Now, if that happens, of course, your baby's foot is not going to be corrected, and no matter how much someone like me comes to your home and is working with your baby, doing physical therapy with your baby, it's not going to be as effective and helpful as it could be. So let's get into the type of stretching that you want to be doing with your baby once your baby is out of the braces. So you're going to be putting your baby in the braces at night, but during the day, you want to be doing these two particular stretches. And now I'm going to walk you through step by step the stretches that you're going to be doing. I like to start off by gently massaging the foot and getting the baby to relax by massaging the calf muscles. So the baby is calm. You can see I have her seated on her mom's lap, and mom is reading a book to her, which is helping her to stay relaxed while I'm working on her feet. Now you can see that I'm moving my thumb from the inner part of her foot, starting at the heel and moving my way up towards her toes, working my way up towards her toes. I also like to then move towards the outer border of the feet, again starting at the heel and moving up towards the toes. It's important to stretch the inner part of the foot, where there tends to be a crease and a lot of tightness on the inner part of the foot as the foot moves into that club shape. Now, she has already been casted. She has already had several surgeries. And so we're quite a ways along in our process of just stretching her so that she can continue to walk. She's actually walking at this point. You want to make sure that you do both feet if your child has both feet are clubbed, or if it's just one foot, then fortunately you would just have to massage that one foot. So this is a close-up of the stretches, and you can see that I am really working my way down on the inner part of her foot. I am working on that crease, trying to expand that inner arch of the foot, but then also moving out towards the outer arch of her foot and working my way along the outer border from her heels to her toes to really reposition the foot so that it's more in a flat position rather than the club-shaped position that it's in right now. As you keep on doing this, the foot will get straighter and straighter, but it's a process that you have to go through, and pretty much you should be stretching your baby every single day. I would say try to do these stretches for at least 2 to 3 minutes at a time, or as much as your baby would tolerate. If you're new to the channel, my name is Charek Gordon, and I've been a pediatric physical therapist for well over 20 years. My goal with this channel is to create a place where parents can feel empowered to come get knowledge, get information that they can use to lay their hands on their babies and make a positive impact. So if you got value out of this video, please consider liking, subscribing to the channel, and smashing that notification bell so that you can be notified the next time I drop a video. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. Now remember, a hug is a silent I love you, so please hug your babies. I'll talk to you soon.